Well, I want it this month, but there's too much going on. Probably by the end of next month and have it out.
What?
That way I'll have time to have it painted before
I thought you
car
were
show.
finishing up the...
TJ does paint now.
We're gonna buy new cages.
It's Tim for,
Cage bags like
2 weeks paint.
Yeah.
So they're going up to North Carolina, the biggest trucking action. And she's taking her pink dress, which won't be a big black.
It
Why-
was to
why is he painting
finish
it
up-
again?
It said it was to finish up the...
Not been covered up.
y'all were doing
Oh, it's
with
painted out
installation
probably?
electrical. But I'm assuming you can use it for anything.
Were we supposed to bring something that I didn't bring?
No, just a pin.
Welcome aboard.
Equipment he did around the dumpster.
You just,
I've been known to run linebacker for some of them.
Uh-huh. Thankfully. Very thankful for you.
Well, yeah, that's where I take my air conditioning.
Michael.
Oh, yeah, that'd be, that's what it is. We got the air today. Oh, sure. Save some of it.
Did you sign? She's my pen card.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Is that the same as this, as far as the data?
There's next year's budget too.
Well, I'm saying, it's current, this is current with that, right? This 37 that you sent me?
The what?
This was 37, as of 37. What you sent me, it's as of last week.
Yeah. It is current. It's through February, end of February.
Has everybody signed the sheet?
Lane. Check on the back sheet. Here.
Oh, this is your January.
Yeah, since I was at your last month, I brought one with me.
Call the meeting order. approve the minutes for the last meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second. All in favor? Suspense reading of the minutes.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Watts.
You all have the reports from February. The health department provided 2,310 visits to 2,058 clients during that month. And we gave a total of 225 vaccinations and 1 TB skin test.
Ain't seems to be having any trouble with flu or anything like that.
Not horribly bad. I mean, there are some cases out there. We still have vaccines available if anybody wants to come.
Is that, anybody can get them?
Yeah, and they're free.
I told somebody that, and I thought it was free, but I'd have to, but you wouldn't hear the last time.
Yeah, and I think in January, the commissioner made them free, or the governor, so.
A lot of upper respiratory stuff going around.
Yes, there is.
Any more questions?
Not want to introduce your visitor, we
Yes, this is Caitlin Patterson. She's our health educator. She's been in this position since August, and she was our outreach and enrollment person before that. So I'm just trying to get her familiar with everything and kind of meet some new people. So I just brought her along. so
She's
she
your
could-
what?
Health educator. She covers Warren, White, and Cannon like I do.
Motion approved the
I make
report.
a motion to approve the report.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Speak. Thank you, Ms. Watts.
Thank
That's
you.
feedback.
See,
Thank you.
Put them up out there at the health department, they'll let you.
All right, since I wasn't here for the January meeting, I brought January's report. And we took in 67 dogs and 12 cats. We had 1 dog returned to owner, 3 adopted, 9 cats adopted. We had 0 grant-funded adoptions for dogs and cats. 67 dogs went to rescue. 4 cats went to rescue. We had 1 dog and 3 cats died of natural causes. We had 1 dog euthanized at the vet because he was injured so badly from being hit by a car that he couldn't be saved. And we had no cats euthanized. I responded to 31 calls. We took $48 in fees. We had $365 in adoptions, 170 in the grant-funded adoptions. That's not right. I'm sorry, I made a mistake because that's not correct. We don't have any grant-funded adoptions. We took in $60 for redemption to owner and $194 in monetary donations, so a total of $837. Subtract the 170. We had 24 dogs at the end of the month and 40 cats. 6 cat fee adoptions were waived because they were already fixed, and 1 dog that was old and hard to place, and so we didn't charge for that one. And then in February, we took in 30 dogs and 7 cats. We had 2 dogs adopted and 10 cats adopted. We had 1 grant-funded cat adoption. 16 dogs went to rescue and 7 cats. And then died of natural causes, quarantined, and euthanized by vet were all 0. I responded to 25 calls. We took in $96 in fees, $500 in adoption, $65 in grant-funded adoptions, $50 in monetary donations, and it totaled up to $711. And at the end of the month, we had 36 dogs and 29 cats. 4 of the cat adoptions were fee waived because they were spayed and neutered at no cost to the county.
Motion to accept the report.
Motion. I make the motion.
I want to make a comment. I heard,
Go ahead.
okay, I heard the local news today.
Did you? I
heard-
was going to bring that up, yes.
Good news, and that's always worth talking about.
Absolutely. We received, I asked Hawk to apply for a grant from the company Wishy Wash, which we have a thing that you hook to the hose to sanitize the building. We have one, we use it regularly, and so I asked Hawk, President and Vice President, if they would apply for the grant for us. And she said yes. So she did apply, and 2 grants were awarded throughout the whole country. And we received one for $1,000, and somebody else got one for $1,000. And we're actually going to buy the new cage banks for the new sick room out of the $1,000 because they're very expensive.
Cage racks.
Banks.
Thanks.
Motion to accept the report.
I will.
Second.
Richard read motion,
Second.
seconded.
Okay.
All in favor? Y'all got any more questions?
I was going to ask about the sick room, which you addressed that, you're getting the cages for that.
Yes, right now I have it shut up. My husband has come in and actually blocked off where the eaves were. It goes into the soffit because that was open and we was getting a lot of draft in there. And we have actually ourselves sealed the concrete and the wall that between the sick room and kennel number 1, and it actually, the moisture actually travels up the wall. So the wall is wet, like 2.5 foot high on that wall and on the outside wall towards the kennel. And I'm trying to get it dry so we can dry lock it.
Right.
Because if we do anything to it wet, all it's going to do is mold.
Right.
So I have it all shut up and the heater running in there trying to dry, and it's shrinking, it's going lower and lower, but it's taking a while. So I really can't do anything in there until we get that sealed.
Probably won't happen until the weather gets...
Yeah, as wet as it's been, the walls just stay wet.
What about the insulation?
We have not, because I don't want to do anything in there until...
Well, in the other part too, just in general.
Oh, well, since we put the ceilings in and insulated and stuff, it's staying so much warmer.
Okay.
And the dogs absolutely really enjoy it. And it don't have, my office air conditioner that we replaced, don't have to run it near as hard. It kicks on and off all the time. Used to, it was running nonstop.
So no more electrical issues.
So you got the sick room, all the electricity took care of.
Well, whenever we paint the walls and stuff, we're gonna, it's run right. It's not shorting out, and you can turn the lights in the kennel area off, and you can still have the lights in the sick room on. So that's all fixed. But the ones in the roof we'll have to move whenever we put the ceiling in there and the insulation, but that's no problem.
Who did the...
Greg.
Greg did, okay. And the air conditioner in the office is working
It is working. Apparently that's what it needed, was a new air conditioner, because it's quit.
Yeah. Well, thing I'd like to bring up that we'll have to probably move to building and grounds, and they may already be addressing this. I know they're looking at the bathroom as far as ADA, but I want to bring up that I want it to be discussed anyway about the parking and drive situation, because I can almost guarantee you that's not ADA compliant out there.
We have had several people in the motorized wheelchairs and the push wheelchairs, and it is absolutely almost impossible for them to get in there. They cannot roll on them rocks.
I'm surprised that if somebody has went into the dip, they haven't went out, because that would be...
Yeah, they're usually pulled up far enough that they don't have to roll through that. Yeah, that's... And the parking's getting worse. We're really, really busy out there now, and the other day, I don't know if it was the FedEx truck or the uniform truck or whatever, but anyway, I needed to go out for a 911 call, and I had to have 3 people move so I could get my truck out. It's awful.
I just want to, I guess, make a motion that we pass it on to Building and Grounds to look at the parking situation out there and the possibility of a circle drive or whatever they determine will solve the problem that we got.
We discussed that last month and said we was going to send it on to Building and Grounds about the ADA, and they've already hired a consultant to look at all that.
Good.
And I also included a copy of my budget for 17-18. I know it's not due yet, but I wanted to get a jump on things. And the biggest change on there is I'm still asking for Brandy to be hired full-time, because the job is getting to where it's difficult for me to do some of the stuff, like the really huge dogs. It's hard for me to lift by myself. Some of the dogs are really strong. It's hard for me to hold on to them by myself. So whenever no one's there but me, it can become very difficult. So I was asking to please have her on full time.
Does she want full time?
Yes.
At one time she didn't.
Yes, she does.
She does now.
Need to explain to them the one with the asterisks.
Oh yes, and the one with the asterisks by it, I forgot to highlight, but those are the ones that we actually added money to because of donations. So there's extra money, and that's why they're above budget, because we had donations added to them.
What is the total amount of increase on this?
On which one?
With what you're proposing?
I did not
Total it?
I did not subtract it, actually. I did total it, but I didn't subtract it, you know, from the approved. It's about $10,000. $10,100.
$1.
You're quicker than I was. I was getting there.
I've got something that I worked on also today that I want y'all to look at. Just something that because we got time, we can think about it. But I was looking at just trying to, because I just don't. Well, I'm not saying we won't hire Brandy full time, but I think it's going to be a hard stretch to go $10,000 more. But I was looking at giving both of those people a raise to get them up to $15,000, and I've got that figured up. You can look at it between now and next meeting. But I did what I did last year. I took money out of the existing budget where there's no increase, and I'm not the best mathematician, so check me out and make sure I'm right. Did I give you one time? I mean, as you can see there, I looked at just those areas that I circled: licenses, animal food and supplies, custodial supplies, other supplies and materials, and other equipment. And I looked at what you've got left as of now, what I think you can do without the remainder of this year. That's all subject to change, but that's where, as a manager, you come in. And this would basically, I mean, it's not a big raise. It's, well, it depends on, I guess, who you are. It's about $20 a week, but it's still a pretty good raise, I think. It's more than what the county would probably give, just as far as across the board. But that would have them both at a higher salary if we couldn't pull one of them up full time, and it would actually be money in their budget, with the exception of The one that I'm questioning is animal food, because that budget.
Yeah, it's so hard to predict because you don't know what people are gonna donate.
But if the budget is so large and we've got so much of it left every year towards the end of the year, that's the only reason I'm thinking that we could actually take 6 or 7 out of that and still be okay. Because usually at the end of the year, you buy up a bunch because you've got the money. And I'm just thinking, we do get a lot of donations. I don't see that drying up. And
Shouldn't.
that's just something to look at also between now and the next meeting. I mean, I think that if we can't hire Brandy full-time, we ought to at least look at both of them, because we got good people out there.
Yes.
And it wouldn't, if we could manage it, it wouldn't affect their budget, it wouldn't increase it.
Well, basically $1,000 or $20 a week would come up, it would be more or less the same thing as a 50-cent raise. That comes up to $1,080 a year, more or less, so it wouldn't be that much difference.
Right.
That is, if there's money in the budget for everybody to get a raise.
Well,
We're gonna finance give raises.
It's going to be a tight budget.
well, thankfully, we learned from last year we can use our own budget to do things. So that's why I went back to that again. We proved that last year. Because we're not asking the county for nothing extra if we do that. Now that didn't talking about you. You know, you would be a separate story. You would be whatever the county did, because we're just talking about them, just like we did
I
you.
understand.
I'm just saying, you got ADA, they don't know how much ADA gonna cost them, because every office gonna have to probably have electric door. Even you gonna have to have electric doors. Even your bathroom will have to meet ADA.
Yeah, that's gonna require some real doing.
Yeah, well, that's, as Michael says, that's building and grounds, that's where they come in. We're going to rely heavily on them to put their pencils to work and see what we can do.
I'm just afraid the parking lot is going to be something that's going to be major.
Could be, but, you know.
You know, if we could get it approved where it can be done, we possibly get a lot of the work donated. You know, there's.
I could.
The Circle Drive thing, I know the highway department said they would do as much of the work as they could, and that wouldn't technically cost us anything, so.
On another note, have you had any more dogs escape? Okay. Most of the time when they escape is it when people drives in to get them out, bring them in.
Yes, and the cats are the worst, because people think, oh, I can just put my cat in my car and take it for a ride. Well, they just bug out, and when they get there and open the doors, cat's gone.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a thing I can do about that.
And a fence wouldn't make any difference
No, it
to a
wouldn't.
cat.
The cat
But
would
if
go
it's
right
a-
over it.
If it's a dog, do you have the people drive inside the fence?
No, we usually go, if they can't get them out, or somebody's loaded the dog for them or something, usually me or girls go out and put a leash on them and bring them in, or a catch pole, depending on how
Yeah.
crazy the dog is.
Yeah, we might ought to put some signs sometime, you know, if you think your dog is at risk of escaping,
No dogs allowed.
please let the employees get the dogs out, or have them park inside the fence and close the gate. That's what it's originally for.
Well,
Depends on who's in the parking lot.
yeah, and it's usually that area right there's where the girls park, so it'd be hard for somebody to, you know, they'd have to move their truck cars and vehicles out so somebody could pull in there. But I mean, usually we'd go out and get them if it's like an elderly person or someone that doesn't get around well, or.
But if it's a dangerous dog, I would really
Yeah.
suggest that you do that.
Oh, then I get them with the catch pole. Because whenever somebody comes in and says, I got a dog I want to surrender, I was like, what you got? Let me go see. And I go out and check it out and see what's got to be done to bring it in. So we're not going to let no dangerous ones get away if we can help it.
Any more questions?
See you too.
See you.
Here, Kim, put one of them up out there in case somebody comes in.
I'll do it.
Got one? Okay, for the month of February, we didn't haul none to waste away. They didn't order no loads, so unfortunately, we didn't take them then. Okay, our loads to Southern Central, we hauled 650.79 tons. That cost $27,658.57. That was 104 loads. On the newsprint, we had 25.5. That brought $626.25, 5 loads. On our cardboard, we had 18.9. Brought $542.70, was 5 loads. Metal Southern Central, we had 16.52. Brought $1,486.80, 8 loads. Aluminum cans by .59 brought $6.49. Our metal was bringing $5 a hundred, and our cans 50 cents a pound. And on our batteries, we had 10 used batteries that brought $67.50. Collection site for used tires, we collected 1,655 passenger tires and 55 truck tires. We had .96 ton of used oil, had 2 tons of electronics, 2 tons of plastic, have a total of 65.44 tons that was recycled. The money coming back to the county totals $30,372.25. Have a total of 20.35 tons that was paid to be recycled. And of course, 650.79 went to the landfill. We went back 12% on that. But one reason our tires, we got less tires last month. It was short month too also. But people were getting back income tax. Now the tires are busting back up. So
I hadn't seen 12%. 3 years.
I know it just keeps inching though. Usually we're running about 14, but it's sort of a slow month in February too, you know. But Waste Away, they have us out so much when we can take a load to them, you know. And it's just hard to get those numbers up, no matter what you do. I mean, on the other hand, people's buying. I mean, our tonnage proves that. We're getting in tax money, but you can't level that out on recyclables, so no way.
Motion, accept the report.
Make a motion.
Second. All in favor? Steve, have you got a cost on that truck yet?
Yeah, I talked to, well, actually we got Western Star, what we're sort of looking at. Coffee County, they bought 2 new Western Stars automatics. And they give a little bit less trouble than the Mack transmission. And they're a shorter truck. But Coffee County, they bought 2 of them. And then I checked with David out here, and he's got an older model truck. The only thing he ever had done to it is a diesel exhaust system stopped up, which ours is stopped up on our Macks too also. And I talked to the guy there, and the figure on it is about $153,000. I don't know where to get any higher than that time we get to there, but that's pretty well the average. What a truck like that with a roll-off bed and all, and the tarp system, the whole shebang.
I just had a question. I had a citizen ask me about, and I know this is probably something, Steve, that maybe you don't have any control over, that you coordinate with the drug court or something, I don't know. But I had a citizen ask me about, like, how y'all schedule people there to help unload garbage. And I know Blaine says y'all discussed it before, but I don't think I ever got it on camera to show the citizen. So how does that work?
Well, what they do, they sign them so many hours, whatever they get, 25 or 30 hours, or maybe 50 or 100, we've had some of them. But they give them a limit time to put them in, and there's nobody that says when they do it.
Yeah.
And so when we tell them, if they call, we tell them be over there at 6 o'clock in the morning or earlier than that, because we take 4 during the day, and we don't use no more than that. Well, most of them will come in, some of them work 2 hours, some of them 4 hours, some of them all day. And some of them leaves, and some others comes in, we haven't got 4 people, well, we take them in. But we haven't really got no time frame on our end. I mean, it's just a voluntary thing that they do. And I reckon through the court system, you know, as long as they get those hours in, they gonna go back to court. And so they got maybe a month or 6 weeks to do them hours in.
But it's not any set days, is it, Steve?
No, that's
They
the
can
reason
come
it's-
serve their time anytime.
Right. I mean, maybe when we need them and when we don't.
Yeah.
We just ain't got no control
Well, I
over
kind
it.
of figured that was what the
Yeah.
deal was. I mean, you don't know what the load is going to be and what the hours are going to be that the court assigns them. So they're just coming in when they can, and
Right.
there's really no way for you or any of us to have a set schedule.
No, we
And I think that's what the guy was getting at, and I said, I'll address it, but I'm pretty sure that it's based up on what the court allows.
We have people call and say, you got any helpers over there?
Yeah.
And if we do, we tell them, and we don't have any, but we don't know that.
Yeah.
And so, if we got them, we got them. If we don't, we don't. That's usually what I tell everybody, you know.
Good.
One
Thank you, Steve.
thing I want to make sure of too, because maybe I'm wrong on this, but they don't have to help the people get the garbage out of their vehicle, correct?
The work, my guys don't.
The county guys
The
don't.
county guys don't
The-
because of injuries and.
Okay, all right. That's where I was wrong.
Yes.
Because I told him I didn't think that even the volunteers were able, that were getting their community service had to do it.
Yeah.
It's just the county employees are not supposed to.
They don't because.
Right.
Now, if somebody pulls up there and they're older, like
Right.
handicapped or something, they do help.
Right.
But they just don't go out. If they did, like I said, they'd be in bad shape by the end of the day. And I've had people call me and get real mad about that because they're in that building and they say, well, why don't they get out there and help? Well, they don't understand. They're just one person pulling up there. They're not that 750 other vehicles coming back in behind them. And if you help one, you got to help everybody. But we do tell them if they're an older person that we all know, they're older.
Yeah.
And of course they say, well, you unload them, unload me. But, so it gets in a little situation there sometimes, But we just do the best we can with what we got to do with. And like on Saturdays, usually we got somebody over there.
Yeah.
A lot of people work. We have a lot of Californic people out there that they'll come after work or before work.
Yeah.
And they do help quite a bit. And just seem like it goes. You may have a lot of them there one week, then next week you won't see nobody for 2 or 3 days.
I appreciate you explaining.
Okay.
Steve, do they have a sign-in sheet?
Yes,
Or
they
have to
bring
sign
their
in?
sheet with them with the hours, and we keep up with them and sign off every day. We put down their hours and sign off on the hours, keep up with them. But if they come there and they don't have a sheet, we don't work them. They have to have that. And also, we get some of where we have to send out. They won't have their own rules.
Any more questions? Any more questions at the next meeting?
I'd like to make a motion that we set the next meeting for the second Tuesday of next month at 5 p.m.
There's a possibility I won't be here the next meeting. My wife, no, not my wife, my daughter is expecting in Ohio, and that's about from there to the 15th.
Could be
We get the
anytime.
call, we're gone. Our bags are packed.
Right.
My wife will kill me.
Now, don't you leave your bags behind either.
I have done that. Had to go to Walmart when we got there. What day?
Maybe 11.
Got a motion, you gonna get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any more business?
On the back of your papers I give you, if you'll look at it, just sometime, we're having a Habitat House Day for elected officials. It's on May the 20th. All day, you can come and work an hour, 30 minutes, all day, whatever you want to do. Gary, Prater's going to provide the meal.
Yes.
And that'd be a
4/17/11.
good time if you're not doing anything on that Saturday to help a good cause and
4/11/17.
let the people of the county see you working with the city, because the city, they have aldermen there also working with us, so.
Where's the house been built?
It's going to be on N. Smith Road, I think is what it's called. I don't know what the N stands for.
The street.
It's at the end of Old Morrison Road, N. Smith Street. And there's a map on the back of the sheet for you. And that's May the 20th, so you'll hear about it again next month. Like I said, Gary's going to provide the meal, which he did last year. And I think by that time, all we'll be doing light stuff like putting electrical covers on and touch-up painting. I mean, it'll be all dried in. I know last year we helped set a deck. It's a good thing to do if you can.
Steve, what was it you said about, we was talking about the workers, they have a sign-in sheet, and you said
Yeah, they have.
something about if they don't have a sign-in sheet,
We don't let them work. They got to bring that to the probation officer.
must bring them.
Any more questions? Any more questions? Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Our next meeting is